Hi, Bill Henshaw here again, your walking constitution out here in San Francisco, California. And this video is going to be about an investment opportunity that you have because I'm looking to do some mega expansion with networking and some personal upgrades and other things like that. And I have the goods. That's the good news. I've got a gift for it. And, I've got 40 years worth of study of my material, the Constitution, laws, and history of the United States. And I'm out there to make a difference for you, me, our families, and our posterity. And that's why they can't beat us. And I have a lot of issues covering all 6 articles of the Constitution and then some that they don't want to see, they don't want to hear, yet they have the sworn duty to do so. We start asking questions like that rather than the civil rights BS, which doesn't exist, by the way, comes from the 14th Amendment, and you'll learn that that not only doesn't exist, it never did. It's just a dead bang fact. And I know a great deal about that area, in particular, Reconstruction, where most of the trouble began. So that's what I'm looking for, as some serious investor, to talk about prospects and talk about what I have going on now, including a couple of lawsuits here. And it looks like we got one we should really expect to win. I'll fill you in about details where we have an absolutely unopposed record in the trial court, with the plaintiff or attorney having had the sworn duty to prove jurisdiction and venue and didn't make any attempt to do so. And yet our 50-page motion to dismiss got denied in one word by a black robe bastard judge. It simply can't work like this in an adversarial government, in a common law court, in a sovereign independent state admitted into this union. And we start getting issues like these fixed. And the best news of all, for the first time in over 90 years, the U.S. Supreme Court is starting to act like an Article 3 judicial court. And my expertise allows me to read a lot between the lines to know what's going on today, and reading their opinions, and they get more and more like me, especially a case called U.S. v. Madero, Madero, a territorial case that they decided not only exactly like me, but from exactly the same reference book I use. And this one was 8-1, not 5-4. They understand the issues behind the scenes, and we're going to be one of the first in line to take advantage of that and hopefully set precedents that are good from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon, particularly in the areas of the child procurement services at the top of my list, evictions not far behind, traffic court, criminal court, you name it. They don't have any courts. There are no judicial courts. But that can't happen if the Constitution remains in full force and effect. Because without those judicial courts, every law in the books is a bill of attainder and or contract of adhesion. That's especially true with landlord-tenant, by the way. That's a hell of an argument to make, that they don't have, any position like that. And you'll learn a lot more about that too. Oh, send me an email, by the way, youwinnincourt@gmail.com for more information, serious investors, and we'll set up a phone or a Zoom meeting and talk about what we need to talk about here. But it's a hell of an investment opportunity and a chance to make a difference in the course of American history. That's how good it is. As you can kind of think of me maybe as the John Nash of the Constitution, history, and laws of the United States. If you don't know, see a movie called A Beautiful Mind about what he did in the area of mathematics. And would you know, he and I both spent a fair amount of time growing up in Bluefield, West by Gosh, Virginia. I think that's maybe more than a coincidence. But that said, I'm looking to get some serious work done here as quickly as possible, especially with the court coming back into service the first week of October. And they'll be hearing from me before then on multiple counts the way it looks. And like I say, they seem to clearly understand the stakes and what has happened, especially since the New Deal era where they had to switch in time that saved nine. and caused all this crap with the Commerce Clause powers of Congress. You'll learn all about that too. Send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com. And like I say, I'm the real deal here. And yeah, the money's important, but the reason we beat these bastards, if we ever see a jury, which I don't think I ever will, is we're in it to make changes in the system for us, ourselves, and our posterity. That's what they can't beat. Juries are going to, catch on to that immediately. It's my job to get it across to them, and trust me, I will do my job. They will understand, even though they haven't been educated any more than I was back in the day in the mandatory public education system. But I've taken the time, trouble, and effort to find out, and I want to get things out there and hopefully get things back in order as quickly as we can. Go back to our federated Republican government and our Republican government in states as well. And you find out when that happens that most of the government power now is in the county seat, not Sacramento out here in California or my former hometown of Washington, D.C. Mostly local. It's a big difference across the board. Won't be perfect, never has been a perfect government, and I'm not saying this one ever was, only the best one ever invented, and it's worth making a serious attempt to resuscitate it before it's too late. That's what's exciting, and that's why going into my 74th year, my life is ahead of me. That's how good it is. And by the way, quick note about that. 6 years ago, I got the portfolio because I was arrested in a library here, which is hard to do to start with. Dragged across the country for almost 2 months and get into the arraignment hearing in Columbia, South Carolina, and shut the bastards up in 30 seconds flat. That's a video I'd love to have. It's $1 million video, which they claim not to have made in the court of record. But that's how good I am at what I do. And I did a hand printed writ of habeas corpus there alone in a jail cell, 18 pages to the U.S. Supreme Court. And I think that's pretty much why I'm here now. They didn't take any official action, but they got a call in Columbia, get him out of there. Nowadays, the difference is that writ might have gotten some serious attention, if only on the shadow docket. That's been the change that's occurred in the intervening time. It's exciting. It's what I want to share with you. And hopefully we can work things out here. And, I do need some investment capital, no two ways about that, not a great deal. And some upgrades and this, that, and the other, but nothing that can't be taken care of fairly easily. But I have the goods, a walking constitution. Send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com, and we'll get together and see what we can work out. Thank you.